Slate podcast.
Oh,
Hey, do a solid. Put that down for me, bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right there.
Listen to him.
Thank you.
Listen to him.
Okay, I'm gonna start the podcast off like this actually
What do
with
you
my
mean?
Sir Duncan helmet.
What do you mean? You look the same to me.
Really?
You
Yeah.
have a helmet on your head?
Hey,
Yeah.
props to you guys for not seeing it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, I didn't know you were wearing anything.
Yeah, I'm wearing a helmet. No one noticed?
No.
No.
So you guys think I look good?
Yeah. You look good all the
They
time.
look great.
Ow.
Yeah.
Hey, it hurts in here.
Yeah.
In where? In your brain?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Let me take this off.
Oh.
Oh, sorry for hitting the mic.
Oh!
Whoa.
Put the helmet for me over there, sir.
My
You're my squire.
It's really heavy.
Bald.
My eyes. Oh, wait, my hat.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
No,
bald.
no. Yeah. Nate's not.
But I
bald.
just don't like doing my hair all the time because I have to put curl
Oh, no.
gel in
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I
guys.
feel you.
Okay,
gel.
well, that was a really long intro.
Curl gel.
So today, okay. Sorry, hairball. There was a lot of hair in there.
Ew.
Okay, listen, guys. Today we have a very important topic to talk about because it's so relevant right
Yes.
now, and it just there's an update in this topic. But today is about. Dun, 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 dun. I keep doing this. I'm sorry.
What is it?
It's about the merger.
What
Merger.
What merger?
Oh.
What merger?
Relax. I'm
What?
trying to get to it. It's the merger regarding Paramount and Warner Brothers.
Ew.
And we're talking about how it's going to affect the industry and how it's going to, just I guess a lot of the facts about it, like how it started, the timeline, and what it's going to do and how we feel
the
about it.
implications of what this can do for the industry.
And we don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
No.
want this to happen. Let me just give you a little summary how it started.
Yeah.
Ready?
For listeners who haven't probably heard
Okay.
of this, Nathan,
Yeah.
please.
Here's what happened. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers, they're like, I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to do this anymore. Can someone buy us, please? And then Netflix is like, wait, like the flies are going this. That was Netflix. They're like,
in their hands. Yeah. The
and then
greasy
Paramount's
hands.
like, yeah, I want that. I want to buy it right now. I have money. money. Like Mr. Krabs. So basically it became a battle between Paramount and Netflix.
Yeah.
For
But
Warner
Netflix,
Brothers?
yes, Netflix did
yep.
the buyout first though. They initiated the buyout, right? That was
Yeah,
them
they did.
first.
On December 5th.
Yes.
Last year.
Then Paramount was like, I want to buy two. And then it became a battle. And originally Netflix was going to they won the battle at first, but
Yeah.
then I don't know what happened. They walked off. I think it was terms that was never disclosed. We never knew. Was it ever disclosed, Miguel?
It was disclosed a little bit. So
Miguel, take it away, please.
Yeah.
Tell us why Netflix.
Because Netflix didn't really want. Netflix only wanted to buy a majority of Warner Brothers, not 100%. Because they only wanted to buy like the aspects related to streaming and theatrical, not so much cable. I think. I was reading into it last night. Yeah, they
Okay.
only wanted I think like 80-something% of it. I think even Netflix had their own like website. Like on their website, they posted about it.
Interesting.
Because they were trying to buy it for $27.75 a share per Warner Brothers share for $82.7 billion total. But then Paramount countered that bid by wanting to purchase all of Warner Brothers for $110 billion.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
That's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Just
Counter.
that money's
Some
just
change.
I don't. Yeah.
Some change.
Oh,
Chump
man.
change. Just money from Saudi Arabia.
And mind you, the Paramount would also have to pay off their debt. Pay off
Yes,
the debt to
that's a good point.
Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers
I
has
forgot. Yeah.
$80
There's
billion
that.
in debt. So that means they'd have to carry the debt over. It's not going to just disappear. So they're going to have to carry that debt.
Even
obviously.
Paramount is in debt as well.
Yeah,
so it's
so-
like I think this is a totally different world of like business and like all these numbers and all these things they have to do to try to quantify and calculate what they have to pay and loans and all these other things. It goes beyond me personally. As I was reading this, I'm like, what the hell? But like, it's not just that they have the money; they have to acquire money from like investors and like other places. At least that's the vibe.
So
Yep.
where's this money coming from? Where?
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of. They have to have a lot of investments, Paramount, to like someone. They have other investors that are helping. That's not disclosed.
Yeah,
they
well,
wouldn't disclose that. They'd keep it a secret, I think.
Yeah, because that's a lot of money.
I have it
man.
saved somewhere.
Oh, you do? You have it?
let me
Like
see.
you
Yeah.
helped them?
Yes.
Okay.
Where'd you save the money at?
Let's see.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause
Paramount had
we all have some facts about this. And
Yeah.
while Miguel looks that up, you just let us know when we find it. But I
Yeah.
have something else. So with this package, the payout to David, I can't say his last name, Zaslav, was estimated to be $770 million to $888.
That's crazy.
If I'm right with those numbers. And it got denied recently because the shareholders just approved the buyout, but they did not approve
Yeah.
his paycheck.
Yeah, they approved the merger
Yeah.
right on April 23rd.
Yep.
So literally as a recording 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they did not approve his exit package, which
Nope.
is to consider the fact that he literally had to sell a company and for him to be rewarded, right, with
Unbelievable.
that amount of money is just insane. So in a way, it's kind of interestingly enough like a very, I guess, self-aware decision to be like, you know what? No, you're not getting any of this
No,
money.
it was
He's still
good.
getting money. He's still rich. He's
So
still really
funny.
rich, but that's crazy in like the hundreds of millions
Yeah.
to be like, oh, well, I had to sell this company. Oopsie. Anyway, give me my money. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's-
so.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy that lies here, but are we gonna get to the controversy later?
Yeah,
or
no,
no?
we'll
Wait,
get
what?
into the.
Because I have some of the controversy with this merger right here.
Oh, like
Yeah.
what?
If you want to go to it, hit it. Hit
Yeah.
it out.
Basically, what happened is when you have these two juggernauts, and it happens everywhere in not just film or whatever, when you merge two companies, there's going to be heavy job losses,
Oh,
the
yeah.
livelihood of a lot of people. So if you have
Mhm.
these two of the biggest powerhouses, they're going to merge and consolidate their employees. So there's obviously the Academy, a lot of big people in the Academy Awards. You got guys like David Fincher, Joaquin Phoenix, those kind of guys that have voiced their opinions against it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much losses
Mhm.
into the livelihood. Look at what Disney just did when they got Marvel. They just laid off 1,000 people not too long ago, from Disney, and it was a like Marvel section, a lot of those areas too are mixed throughout. But when
Yeah.
you bring a lot of companies together, and it's almost like if you have two schools that joined and you have a football team, there's 50 kids on each team. Well, a lot of those kids aren't going to play no more. They're going to pick the best of the best.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
it's a good metaphor.
merged.
It's a good
Could-
metaphor.
Put it like
Yeah.
that, like a
'Cause
football team.
with merging means consolidating, meaning you have to try to trim,
That consolidate.
yeah,
Trim
consolidation.
the fat.
Because
Yeah.
then it's like, well, they want to try to combine everything, right? So that means that certain things have to be thrown out, or discarded.
Yeah.
And that's always the sad part because just by default, a merger just doesn't really bode well for anybody because then you have one sole group or entity of people in charge of many different companies and many different departments. And so then that just limits the amount of freedom that those places can have,
Mhm.
right? And so even like before that, right, there's the controversy of like Paramount or Skydance Entertainment buying out Paramount. That's how it started. And then from there, then it just kind of trickled down into them wanting to purchase more, right? Netflix wants to purchase it, but like Skydance has been on a tear trying to purchase as much as possible. But was there anything else you're gonna say, Vic? Sorry. I don't know. It looked like you were gonna say some more.
No.
Well, I guess it leads to like how do we feel about the merger then? Because I mean, for me, I don't like it. I feel like it should just Warner Brothers had the capability to stay alone, but I don't know why. I don't even know that's disclosed why he wanted to sell the company, but I don't think they should have sold. They could have, they were doing well, especially with James Gunn at
Yeah.
DC.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So now it's like great. Now it's Paramount doing all of it. So it's like it's gonna happen now.
Well, Paramount will own DC. Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, because Paramount
Yeah,
bought everything that Warner Brothers owned with its DC, HBO Max,
TNT,
so
CNN. That's another thing we could talk
Now,
about
will
too.
we see a decline in the quality of content coming out of
yeah.
them?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I don't like these kind of things, because look at the MCU post Endgame, and as everything started coming, they acquired Star Wars, Lucasfilm. There's been some good things that come out of that, and I like it, but I just don't think it's prime like how it would be if it was its own entity and there was a lot of love going into that one project. Because now there's so many projects, so many things moving. And look at Netflix especially, dude. They're just pumping out projects left and right. Like, it's all grab ass. It's a money
Yeah.
grab.
well,
Like, make
yeah.
a couple good little ones. There's like series that I've never heard of on Netflix. Like, what the hell is this? Nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
Wasting
Mhm.
money.
it's
Yeah.
I think what's the Paramount CEO's name? Larry, right? Larry Ellison?
Well,
Am I wrong?
Well, no, it's Okay, the Ellisons are really good. Like kind of starting point because it's Larry Ellison is the owner of Oracle, which is
Oh,
like
my
the
bad.
hardware.
I'm so bad at
David
this.
Ellison is his son.
Okay.
So David Ellison started Skydance in 2006.
Okay.
And then he's the one that's been kind of operating
Paramount, right?
operating this whole scheme of merging along with Larry.
Okay.
But Larry's the father.
Yeah. But, well, the reason why I say that is because David promised that the theaters that there's going to be 30 films released every year, 15
Yeah.
from Paramount, 15 from Warner Brothers. I really hope he, is true to his promise because we don't want theaters to die. We really that's why I don't like this because it's consolidating, right? So now there's only 4 major companies. So Paramount controls 22% of the market now because they have Paramount, Warner Brothers, 22%, and we have so now there's only I'm trying to look at it. Oh, so you have Universal, Sony, and Disney. Those are like the big like the big
Yeah.
ones. And
Yeah.
now you have Paramount, Warner Brothers, which is 1. So now you only have 4 of the big. There used to be called the Big 6, right?
Yeah.
Back then.
Now
Yeah.
there's only 4.
That's
There's only
4.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen next? Disney's gonna buy Sony. Like
We need someone to step up.
It's just
Yeah.
Someone
it's-
needs to step up.
and mind you, there is antitrust laws that
Yes,
still could
yes.
affect this deal. We don't know yet. It's up. It's honestly now it's a government game.
Yeah.
So if the government gets involved, then that's it. They can't. I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is I don't know if this applies to antitrust laws. I don't know that much detail into it.
There's an article I found from commondreams.org, and they talk about how despite the shareholders approving or voting for the merger, this still has to go to the government,
Okay, well, there
basically
you go.
to
Yeah.
antitrust enforcers and courts of law, and state attorneys or state attorney generals have to go in and try to investigate this.
Yep.
So even though it's been approved, the government still has to come in and look at it. But it's the government currently. So there's the fears of like what interests do they secretly have in making this merger happen as opposed to actually upholding the law.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother discussion, whole nother thing I have opinions
It's a
about.
whole another podcast.
Yes, yeah. So it's not a done deal. I think the merger won't be fully approved until like late this year.
Yeah, Q3. I think.
Q3. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
But Ronnie, what do you think?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
It's just insane. The only thing I care about is just Harry Potter. I'm like, what's gonna happen to them?
I think they're fine.
Buffer. Yeah.
But those movies have been made years ago. They've been finished. Are they
I
going
think
to
he's
do?
talking about. Are you talking about the series?
The show, yeah.
The
Yeah, yeah,
show.
Are
yeah.
people
And
excited
just the new
about that?
stuff.
Because I've heard some
Yeah.
mixed reviews about
Yeah.
that new show.
I think so. Josh
There's
is
a lot of mixed stuff.
excited.
Yeah,
Ronnie,
I'm
you
definitely excited for that.
Yeah,
No,
I think it's going to be interesting, like how they approach it.
I'm not
Because
excited about it.
I mean,
really?
Yeah, like I'm not. I'm like, bro, it's Daniel Radcliffe was a guy, and now this is all going to be all wonky and different.
That's a whole different topic we can discuss.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why are you
Topic,
not
yeah.
excited for it, Miguel?
I'm just not a fan of J.K. Rowling
Oh,
currently.
that's fair. Oh, yeah. That's
Oh,
fair.
Why?
That's a whole nother.
That's another topic.
That's a whole nother topic.
All right, well, tell me later. I don't know.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But I mean,
She's a Brit. Like, what's the issue?
oh, I mean,
We'll talk
she's
about
not
that later.
just a Brit.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
All right, then we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Later.
we'll talk
thank,
later.
thank you. Thank you.
Oh
Thank
my gosh. Thank you.
I guess what we could. I mean, there's so many ways that this could go. Like, I feel like it's not. You can't really talk about one thing because there's so many things to talk
Right.
about this merger. And I guess one thing is like what you could expect from streaming is Paramount Plus would combine with HBO Max.
Yeah, and that.
Is it kind of like the Hulu Disney Plus
Yes,
merger?
It would be like
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
would be like, but Hulu was not as big as Warner Brothers. Obviously, it's just a streamer.
Right.
Exactly.
Warner Brothers was
Yeah.
had DC. They had so many different IPs. And it's
so
just,
can I ask you guys this question
yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Why do you think Warner Brothers wanted to be bought?
So did you find the answer, or do you have like some type of evidence, or no? Is that what
I
you're
guess
asking?
I have.
Tell us. What
Well,
do you-
no, wait, no.
what do you
I
think? Tell me.
want to
Tell
have
me
a
now.
guess.
I will say I don't really
Okay.
have it. I'm just going based off of people working at the company.
I think the reason why Warner Brothers wanted to get bought is I feel like David just got. I don't know. All I can think of is he got tired of it. Maybe he was in so much debt
That's a good.
that
Yeah.
he just he don't think that they were could survive into the next year. And we see a lot of big companies dying out. Like JetBlue is saying that their revenue they're gonna lose 1.5 billion this year, and this is just in reference to like companies are in a lot of debt. And like, you know, it's like Warner Brothers like 70-80 billion dollars in debt. It's like, oh my god.
They need
That's
someone
insane.
to come and turn around their film division. Personally, that's what I feel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with their universe. They could have hit lightning in a bottle with DC and doing it right, but it's
Mhm.
so grab ass. There's no uniformity. They don't have good writers all the time. James Gunn did come in and do a little bit of love with that Superman. Superman was pretty good. I actually really liked that
Me
one.
too.
Yeah.
But it used to be the glory days of those OG Superman, Batman. Oh my lord! If they tap back into doing Batman right and making it a saga, doing these things like that to get out of a hole and doing it like the MCU, I'm telling you right now. And what they really got to do, honestly, is sign a deal to make Don Abel and make that a saga and make that a deal and
Bless
have
you.
Miguel direct it, because
Uh-huh.
everyone thinks they're going with all this old school mainstream. They need something young and fresh and cultural. You bring in Don Abel,
Mhm.
it's going to be lightning in a bottle in the North and South America division. Especially if you have a leader, a guy that directs that's worked on big films like Frozen, Moana, Zootopia. You got a guy spearheading that, and it doesn't have. It can be a small project, small risk, couple mil, big wins, and they're not doing original stuff. So one, the IP with all the DC, they have so many characters that people would love to see. So many. Look, there's ones I can't even name. I didn't know some of them. You got to look at these comics. There's guys like Doomsday we don't know about, or those kind of things like that, or I don't know, whatever, Apocalypse, whatever those names were. But when I'm playing that game with the superheroes back on the tablet, I'm like, who the heck are these guys? You got the Green Lantern, you got Nightwing, you got those kind of things.
You don't know Green Lantern?
I
or
do,
like-
I do.
Oh.
But there's other off brands. Like he's got his whole universe with a bunch of aliens.
Oh my gosh.
But point being,
Oh yeah. What's the point?
they need to they should have made a serious jump, tapping in with DC, because they could have made billions off, especially off of merchandise. How much do you think they make off of Marvel merchandise? Captain America, all these guys. I think they had it in their hands and they didn't do it right. Personally,
Mm,
they
Okay.
needed someone young to put their hand in the cookie jar.
yeah.
And
But like I would say, like in like maybe like a sentence or a word, why do you think that Warner Brothers?
Yeah. What's yours?
Why do you think that this merger happened?
Tell us.
overstimulated.
That was their reason?
That's the reason.
Overstimulated?
They couldn't get
Overstimulated?
caught. There was too much stuff going on for them.
Okay. That's
anyone,
fair.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Ronnie,
no, I was
I said
gonna say, I think it's exactly what
The debt?
Yeah, the debt.
Yeah.
just trying to
Debt.
get more money out of all this.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it is the biggest company.
Yeah.
kind of like what you said.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's just the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah,
to me.
it's kind of disappointing because like David, you had so many good IPs. You could have done some great stuff with them.
Mhm.
Why'd you give up?
But also consider how Warner Brothers did last year.
Are you? Oh, they did bad.
They did really well.
They did
actually.
well. Yes.
They
Yeah.
had, I think they had like 4 consecutive films that
Yeah.
like were number 1 and things like that.
So that's my curiosity.
So
Mhm.
Why?
What were the four?
I'm just asking because I feel like I'm just
Okay.
curious to hear what you guys have to say. But I think it's like it's just money.
Yeah,
Just-
They,
yeah,
they want money.
it's always money.
Money.
Yeah.
And,
it's always
money is
money.
the thing, and
Money-
we should seek. Never mind.
and the biggest thing, control.
right.
Like just like you have these you have these companies just out for control. Like it's I mean like you can look into the intricacies of like what the business deals are and like how they went about it, but really it just comes
Right.
down to like why would Warner Brothers be bought out? It's because another
just money.
another company money and they also another company entity wants control of it,
yeah.
which is so scary.
Well, for
You
sure.
know, and like Victor was saying, it's like you have all these properties, all these things, and it's like, why is it that Warner Brothers is doing this?
Mhm.
And it sucks that it just comes down to like you have these people who are uber billionaires, like people who aren't even on planet Earth anymore in their heads,
Mhm.
and they're just solely out to just try to acquire what they can because they can buy it.
right.
You know,
It's insane.
sorry, I'm very passionate about this topic.
No,
Can I
you're
read
fine.
you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Did
A bit to the timeline that kind of helped
Okay.
to set up what you guys were saying, or to kind of enforce what you're saying. So this is from the LA Times, obviously a reputable source. So here they have a timeline of what went down. So the Ellisons, right? So the Ellisons are a very important player in this because they're the ones that kind of pretty much started it. They bought Paramount, right? So now it's Paramount Skydance, right? But we associate Paramount because they put Paramount first in the name. But it's Skydance. So those guys own Skydance, bought Paramount. So then now the Ellisons are wanting to, they're on a hunt. So Warner Brothers wasn't really like in a way seeking it out at first until later on. So the Ellisons are targeting Paramount next. So September 11th, which is ironic, the date.
Oh my
of this.
goodness. Yeah.
Because of this timeline.
September 11th.
So
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal reports that Paramount is preparing a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The story surprises Warner executives who said they were unaware Paramount was poised to strike. Warner shares soared nearly 30%. So they weren't aware, according to this article. September 12th, the offer. Paramount board votes unanimously to make a bid for Warner Bros. Discovery. So Paramount was the aggressor in this scenario, which is insane. September 14th, now you have Zaslav and Ellison, quote unquote, exchanging pleasantries.
Yummy.
So now they're like, oh, you want to come for me, big boy? All right, let's
Come
talk.
at me, yeah.
So then you have, so Zaslav, according to Arco, Zaslav welcomes Paramount CEO David Ellison to his Beverly Hills home, where Ellison outlines his company's proposed $19 a share offer. Okay, so the share offer, I think, at the end was 31. So this is the beginning of like what they're trying to acquire. $19 a share offer. Paramount says it should pay with 60% in cash and 40% in Paramount stock. Ellison follows up the meeting with the letter outlining Paramount's bid. That's important. 60% cash and 40% Paramount stock. Eventually, the deal would be 100% cash offer. So this is them kind of like, okay, here's our first offer, and then what do you think Warner Brothers said?
Yes.
No.
No, they said no. They're skeptical, right? They meet with to discuss the deal, and then board members believe the Paramount proposal significantly undervalued Warner, in part because the Paramount deal was heavily tied to Paramount's stock price. So that means that 60% of it was cash. They wanted just like actual liquid cash as opposed to like stocks. And then September 22, they said no. They're like, Zaslav sends a letter to David Ellison saying Warner Brothers board unanimously rejects Paramount's offer as inadequate. So they're like, nope. And then as soon as you tell the lion no, they're just going to keep coming for you. You know, yeah, they're going to go. And then September 30th, dingling a deal, right? Let me just paraphrase. And if anyone wants to chime in as well. Oh, and then October 8th, Netflix downplays merger rumors. So this is where Netflix starts to come into play a little bit. Where they're like, no, never mind, no, not yet.
Hey, would Disney be able to come in and buy too or no?
I mean, I don't think so.
Another one?
Another one.
I don't think so. Because yeah, like to Victor's point earlier, like Disney was like really the first big company to acquire so many other companies. They bought 20th Century Fox, they bought Lucasfilm, they bought Marvel, and obviously it was met with a different response because they actually turned around Marvel and made it a huge juggernaut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lucasfilm originally at first, but then that became a different story. But I don't know. I think Disney's okay. I mean, can you imagine like this is like tens of billions of dollars that they're investing in this kind of stuff. Like
tens, it's hundreds of
billions. Well, it's not
here.
I think this is probably the biggest deal
I think so.
for a merger ever because $110 billion, bro.
I can't
In
even
cash.
fathom that.
Yeah.
Cash.
That's insane.
Where do you have that in cash?
Oil.
JP Morgan?
Oil.
Oh yeah, actually
Who owns
oil.
it? Bank of America? Wells
Look
Fargo?
at the gas
Yeah.
prices
Good.
right now.
Or
like,
Siemens
Yeah.
Bank?
Yeah.
Siemens Bank.
Wait, what?
Siemens Bank. This is a real bank.
Yeah.
Real bank.
I believe that.
sea as in the ocean.
Ronnie, we're gonna.
Yes, Siemens Bank.
Oh no. No,
This-
that's caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Why are
I
you off
just-
guard?
it's
We're
the
just
truth.
talking about the bank.
This is just so fascinating because obviously this is more into the business side of things, but I think this is very important
Yes.
to be able to
Yeah.
at least understand and get. Because listen, I think what's great about what we're doing is that we're not like super experts on this, but we're trying our best to understand
Mm-hmm.
what the situation is and how it came about.
Right.
Sorry, I was
right.
super
Also,
lost.
and just kind of like getting a sense of like just from like a very
just vibrating.
like common sense POV of like, wait, why would another company buy another company?
Right.
Isn't competition meant to be good? Isn't it meant to like force other studios and companies to produce better products?
Right.
This feels like as a merger, this feels like it allows a company to not really take into account quality
Mhm.
because they own everything, you know, or at least they
Exactly.
own a big chunk. Like just since their HBO Max is one of the biggest competitors in streaming, next to Netflix and,
Right.
and Hulu and Amazon.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah, they have they call it like the prestige streaming service. They have
Mhm.
those shows,
Mm-hmm.
and so now you have one family, right, controlling all of that HBO, Paramount Plus,
Right.
also CNN too.
I was good.
Which
yeah.
Oh my god!
Actually,
no
I was
way.
just
Yeah.
I was just
No
looking
way.
into
Go
that.
ahead.
Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
please Please,
Yeah,
Ronnie,
yeah.
talk.
I just want
The
to.
implications of that are pretty crazy.
I'm just gonna quote the BBC right here.
Ooh, BBC.
Yeah, it says the deal would see Paramount Skydance take control of all of Warner Brothers titles and channels, which include Harry Potter, Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
and News Network CNN. So obviously that's gonna be going back to I think Nate you said about like the government or someone
Yeah,
said about
yeah.
the
I don't know,
government.
I
taking
don't
over.
Government.
Oh, you said
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you said
So
that.
then obviously with the current,
Yes.
the current
State.
This is relevant.
Yeah. So
yes.
obviously it's gonna be a big deal when it comes to this whole merge because now like news media is gonna change as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not only it's gonna affect the film industry, it's also gonna affect
News
the
outlets.
journalists and all that
Yes.
stuff. So
Yes.
this whole merge is just gonna definitely gonna
Yeah.
shake some
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And then,
feathers.
yeah.
I'll just bring this up too because it's important. The Ellisons, and again, this is relevant, right? Obviously, we're a film podcast, but this I feel like is relevant to
Mm-hmm.
what this all is. The implications of journalism, right? The Ellisons have ties to the president of the U.S.
Right.
So they've gone to dinners and they've done this kind of stuff. So the fear that not just people in general are pointing out, but even just creatives, is that you have a family who has ties to the president, right? So
Mhm.
now you ask yourself, CNN isn't necessarily seen in the best light by him, right? What does
Yeah.
that mean? Actually, I think with Paramount too, they also were responsible in like canceling the Stephen Colbert, right? Who is an outspoken
Right.
who's outspoken against the president, right? So
Mhm.
it's like there's all these things, there's all these really big implications regarding how one family has control over a company, and
Right.
also, right, like you could even say too, can that also have implications on the creative side of things too? Where what if there's a movie that deals with certain types of topics or things?
Mhm.
Can the family step in and be like, hey, this movie feels problematic to us?
Right.
That becomes a very scary thing to consider where
Mhm.
they oversee everything. So if someone's trying to make a movie, is there a fear that, the owners of that company can have a say or stop, a movie that's being made?
Yep.
That's the thing that's scary to me, right? Is that
Right.
when you have a family or a group of people who control so many facets, it becomes now it's like you're not even giving those companies their own autonomy
Mm-hmm.
over what they can do. Now you have a group of people owning something that can have a say in everything. They can implement their own personal agenda.
So
Right.
was that family, and I don't know if it's true or not, were they in the Epstein files or no?
Oh, I don't know. That's I mean,
Well, you say that they had ties with the president. Like, I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
maybe,
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
That's
again,
a fair assumption.
I never looked that
Yeah,
up.
I mean, they could be.
I was
I
on
don't know.
Merger Facts.
Yeah.
Because even
Yeah.
NFL teams, there was every NFL team or affiliate of every NFL team, with the exception of 2, were mentioned in the files. So I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers people were in these files.
Right.
Everyone in the model was in there.
Yes, of course. That is something that you can scrutinize and like ask yourself. But again, this is what I was looking at according to the New York Times, the Hollywood Reporter, Yahoo.com, right? The David Ellison had dinner with Trump. Obviously, New York Times doesn't let me want to read this article because they hate to me. But you could say maybe do they have ties politically, or is it just purely business? Because the government has to step in and assess the merger, right? You could say that they're doing that as a way of saying, hey, we have this merger
Quid
happening.
quo pro.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yes, was it quid
Quid quo pro.
Quid
or is it quid pro quo?
Oh,
I think it's quid pro quo. Yeah,
man, I might be
this
wrong.
for that.
I took
no, but
AP
you're
Gov.
right. You're right because it turns out the government is actually in favor of the merger deal.
Why?
Because it ties to their interest. Again, as long as they're tied to their own interests of like who can make money from this deal, that's all they
fake.
care about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, I will look into this more as well. But I thought that was fascinating because I think that was also a bigger concern for people is that the Ellisons are tied to Trump in some way. And so that's the fear of like, okay, how is that going to compromise the integrity of CNN as well as the other films? And it's fascinating to me just this because you could say like, well, aren't there antitrust laws? There are, but it just seems like there's something that's bypassing all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, to
Just
go
being the inside job.
Well, there's
Yeah.
that, and there's also to add on to that, there's the WGA and the DGA who are fighting back against this a lot.
Yeah.
Especially DGA is a big no one doesn't want this to happen. So hopefully they have something that could, I don't know, like maybe they have some power or something. I don't know. what they could do on their end. But that is also something in play, is the unions do not want this merger to happen,
Mhm.
and that's a big deal because the unions, I mean, they stopped. WGA had a strike, and the
Right.
actors. Is it Actors Guild? Am I?
SGA, yeah.
SGA.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
SAG literally
SAG.
had
SAG, yeah, there you
it
go. Sorry,
stopped.
SAG.
Like literally, there was a huge stoppage in film.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
could literally crumble the industry as
yeah,
well.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
So-
do you think there's potentially another strike happening?
Yes, yeah,
Probably.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, because they were already going to strike. I think
Yeah.
WGA was going to strike, but
But it's
then
gonna be literally everybody, not
Yeah,
just one
everyone.
union. It's gonna be everyone.
yeah,
Everyone. Yeah.
IATSE,
Oh my
SAG,
gosh.
like I think they'd all they'd all work together because if this merge happens, people will lose jobs. They don't want
Yeah,
that to happen.
100%. Yeah.
So it's there's a lot that could happen. This feels like a dynamite. Like
Yes.
this could
Yeah.
go
time bomb.
The fuse, yeah,
Yeah.
time bomb.
Time
It's a ticking
bomb.
time bomb.
this
100%.
could go like so many ways. Like I don't even know. Like I can't even give an hypothesis. I don't know. Like I don't have a confident answer of what will happen with
Yeah.
this merger.
Absolutely.
All I know is
Absolutely.
I don't want it, and yeah, that's it. I don't want it to
This
happen.
definitely feels like The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That is very true. That's
Oh
a great
my
example.
But yeah, I mean, I don't
it's
know.
insane.
Like I'm trying to think, like what, like I'm trying to see, what other things
Yeah.
that this
I
this
mean-
could implicate. I guess this could, what shows are going to be affected with the merger, right? So you have Knights of the Seventh Kingdom. That's HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is the quality going to go down?
I feel like every quality is going to go down.
Is every, are they, I'm curious, are they just going to fire directors? Are they going to just like, oh, you're not going to do this anymore. I don't like you. It's like, I'm curious, like, that's the thing. That's like a wandering question for everyone, right? It's like,
Right.
what's going to happen to the shows they love?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happens when, it sucks, but, when Disney took over the Marvel stuff, like they started, a couple years after, like they had good stuff in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
they made
Topics.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
But then they went on after and they made She-Hulk, and I was like really bad. And then they did stuff like Boba Fett was good, but then I was just like, oh, what did you do with
Well, same thing
this?
with Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Mandalorian. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's like that's what you could start seeing as a quality is degrading slowly
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it could start off strong and you're gonna be happy, but over time, how can we save money?
Exactly.
Just quality
That's
goes
what's
The
down.
greed needs to be set aside to
Yeah.
improve the
This-
quality of art.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This is
Yep,
this
yep.
is something I read.
Look at the nobleman.
An article for about Disney when they literally fired most of their Marvel team and it's a skeleton crew.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He literally, I think Josh D'Amara said, "Oh, it's mostly going to be AI for Doomsday, the CGI, the visual effects."
Oh God.
And I was like, "No,
I hope
Why am
not.
I
No.
not, why am I not surprised?
Oh,
I
gosh.
if that's the case, I mean I really don't know how it's going to look. I mean, we've seen. Is there trailers? There's trailers, right?
There's a
Doomsday?
teaser. I
There's
think.
teasers.
Teaser, no,
But
not
yeah,
a big
not an
trailer.
official.
though.
Yeah, not an official
It's just
trailer,
like
no.
I really hope that it doesn't look bad. Like I'm scared. Like I maybe
But do we
some
not
of
watch it now if it's AI?
Well, it's not. It's
There's
not.
always gonna be people. Gonna
There's
watch
people
it
gonna watch
regardless,
it. Like
you
I
know.
think people are gonna watch it still, but it's like I'm worried. Like, is it full? Like, is everything in there gonna be AI, or is it just some parts of it is AI, like CGI? Like, I'm curious
I don't know.
what route they went. I don't know what route they went,
Mhm.
but yeah,
And Disney has already had like a reputation for being a client by VFX people that like VFX developers and houses absolutely appall, like they hate.
Oh
Mhm.
wow.
Because I remember reading an article where it's like Marvel just overworks VFX people to the bone
Yeah.
because they're
That's what I've heard too.
indecisive. They don't know what to do, and they're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
well, we're Marvel, so you just do it."
I was
And
gonna
they're
say,
like,
don't they also have like really short deadlines too?
"Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
I think-
that's the reason."
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Sorry.
Oh
Yeah, no.
boy.
Yeah.
The deadline, the short deadlines is a key.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're like, "We're Marvel, we're
Mhm.
Disney. You just do what we tell you to do."
Right.
And people will complain about it on social media because they realize, wait, why are the VFX so ass? Well, it's because
It's
it's
rushed.
not it's rushed. It's not the VFX people. They're trying their best.
It's Marvel.
It's Marvel.
Disney.
It's
Mhm.
Disney.
Pay him a
yeah.
little more, give more time. It's not
Yeah.
that hard.
But that's
It's
the
really
next,
not that hard.
That's the next point.
Yeah.
You could say maybe there might be a grace period like of a few years where like, oh, actually things are fine, and then you start to see the cutbacks. You start to see that they're not
Layoffs.
treating they're
Yeah.
not treating they're not treating they're not treating this entertainment business as like entertainment business. They're treating it just as like it's another business where we can cut corners. We can try to still produce
Right.
similar results, but not at the same quality. And
Mhm.
like at the end of the day, these heads of the studios, they're not in it purely for the sake of like, oh, let's make quality films. It's just let's just make money.
Yeah.
And even if say the quality's compromised, if people are still willing to show up, they're not going to care. So I
Exactly.
think really it comes down to like, can people really, fight using their wallets and say, listen, like we're not gonna
Support
show up and
indie
support.
film.
Yeah. Support
film.
indie
Go
films,
support
yeah.
an indie film. Like if
Exactly.
you don't want to go watch a Marvel movie or you don't want to watch like those big guys, go watch a small indie film that's at the theater.
Yeah.
That's how you get support theaters.
Absolutely.
Because
Go to your local film festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
yeah,
too.
no, straight up,
Yes.
like go support these small creators, small indie companies that are making
Mhm.
movies because those are the ones that are gonna keep theaters alive. Because a lot of the big guys are just gonna go to streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's what happens most of the time,
Absolutely.
anyways. So it's like you know
Mhm.
you do have big films that come out, yes, and those are fine. Like I mean they're gonna make money. That's their track. They're gonna track to make money,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. But if you see an indie film that's coming out, like Project Hail Mary was in. No, it wasn't indie. That was IP. Like that was its original. It was an
Original
original
IP.
Yeah.
Through
story.
Amazon.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
still like that is something you want to support because it's an original. You want originals.
Yeah.
You don't want IPs. We don't want them.
We need to make a push to do an indie of Don Abel, and I want people to go support that. I think it'd be good and have Miguel
Right.
spearhead the project.
You said that.
You already said that.
I did, but now that's was
Yeah, I
for
think he's
Warner Brothers
reminding
picking
people.
it up.
Yeah.
Now we got to do it indie.
Hey, let's honestly let's go to
Abel.
Paramount Warner Brothers. Hey, can you buy Don Abel and we can make movie?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but there are two people
No,
attached.
we need to go to A24.
Oh, that's true.
A24.
Yeah.
I
Don
would,
Abel is such an A24 film.
I would
It is,
love.
huh?
100%.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
No,
that's why I love A24 'cause
honestly,
they-
Don
yeah.
Abel is a Black Bear films.
Ronnie gets it. Yeah.
You guys ever seen Black Bear films? Like their movies?
No.
No?
What do they do?
Honestly, I forgot.
Okay. we, can, we,
Or how about this?
we can look offline.
Oh my God, Point Grey Productions. I think that's
Wait.
Oh gosh.
That's James Franco's. Not James Franco's. Is it? Oh, Seth Rogen, I think.
Black Bear Films.
Yes, I think it's.
I
is it
forgot.
I forget.
It's they did the interview and stuff.
Oh, they did Immaculate.
Why are you watching something?
I'm gonna put on Don Abel.
No.
Wait.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Is that copyrighted?
Oh
Wait,
God. This is not.
I appreciate him trying to plug Don Abel, but I don't know if this is the.
This
I don't know if
doesn't. This
is
isn't the episode
time.
for it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I put it away.
Yeah.
Put that thing away.
But yeah, I honestly don't. There's not, I guess, much to say about the merger anymore. Like we did go through a lot of.
I said all I
Yeah.
had to say.
Well,
All of it.
we talked about the bad stuff. Is there
Yeah.
any good in this?
No. I mean,
Mm.
no, it's not. There's not going to be good from it because all it's doing is taking away jobs. Like we see it already.
Right.
What happens with mergers?
Oh, no, yeah,
when
for sure.
Disney merged
Yeah.
with all those big companies, they laid off so many
No,
people.
for sure.
What's
Yeah.
good about it then,
Yeah.
Ronnie? Would you have a thought of what's
Oh
good
no,
about it?
I'm just saying that we talked
He's
about
just
the cons.
curious.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm
what-
just,
what are-
I'm just
I don't
wondering
think
what
there's
the
pros.
is. I think literally the only pro is we have one less like streaming or like all the streaming stuff is like one
I
less
guess it's
streaming
one less
thing.
payment.
One
that's-
less subscription.
that's-
yeah.
One
one
less
less subscription.
payment.
That's literally
but,
that's all I can think about.
But it'll
Yeah.
go higher.
That's a good
Your
point.
payment will go higher.
The payment will go higher.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
that's gonna happen.
So, yeah. But that's only the only thing I could think about. That's
mean,
it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dumb.
But I guess to end it on a good note, this
Yes.
is like something related to film.
Mhm.
A lot of companies, there's a lot of success in indie right now, like independent original
Yes.
films.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like Ryan Coogler, they want to start a council to help support indie films.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I if I read this right, I don't know. I need to read more articles on it. But Warner Brothers, ironically, started a small subdivision company that supports indie filmmakers. I don't know. I need to look more into that to give you
I
the
don't
final
know that.
answer. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
we love that.
I love that companies are starting to believe in indie titles and originals because they see that it's working. So that is a good note to end on with film. Like
yeah. Yeah.
we're gonna see more originals. I think.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to get away from the Scream 10 and the
Yeah.
Conjuring 7,
Right.
and it's those are starting to like be there, but not as prominent as the originals.
Mhm.
We have like Hokum coming up. It's original.
Yep.
What else is original that's coming up right now? I'm blanking. I can't think of it on the top of my head. But we do have originals coming out, so
Yes.
I like it.
We do. Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily indie, but like the Odyssey and like other films.
Oh yeah,
that
right,
Odyssey. Like
have
that's
some sort of original. But I think in terms of indie, there's plenty of indie films
Yeah.
that, and even just that's a great point that you're bringing up. I think that's the best way to kind of like, because this can feel overwhelming and
Yeah, yeah.
exhausting and like
Mhm.
very frustrating and demoralizing to see that there's these business people that are like on some kind of like mountain far away, like making these big high level
Mhm.
decisions, and you're like, we can't do anything about it. I think what we can do, like Nate's saying, is support indie, but also even just as indie filmmakers, make
more
films. YouTube is like thing is now there isn't just one way of getting movies out through studios. There's different ways. There's through different platforms. YouTube,
Tubi,
Vimeo, Tubi, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to combat this is by saying, okay, you know what?
get out there.
Let's
Get
see
your
if
chip.
we can try to change
Me
the
and my buddy
landscape.
just work on a Tubi feature, so shout out to my boy
Yeah,
Steven.
we might have a special
Oh,
guest
yeah.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to
Yeah.
Steven.
But yeah,
shout out to the boys.
Yeah, it's
There's a way to go about it, you know? And I think this should empower us in an interesting way to say, you know what? Like, we're not treating this as a business. We're treating this as a way to continue to tell stories. And
Exactly.
I'm
because
telling you guys
that's-
right now, we got to go make a feature film and try to get it in theaters, any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
we
no,
need to
we
find a
want to
way.
do that.
We wanna do that,
You know,
yeah.
but this is
We
also
need money.
This isn't saying that I hate like IPs because Dune has done a great job making an IP, right? You know, they have Dune 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, the third one's coming out, and there are good titles out there that have made a good they're successful.
Yeah.
But I don't like it when you go, are you gonna do Dune 7? Are you gonna do Dune 6? No, like end it when you're supposed to. Stop trying to do a money grab and it comes
Right.
out poor because that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, you keep making it because you're like, I want to make money. And it just comes out more poor because you're trying to, cut corners, be cheaper.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying, like, let's just, those are fine. Like, in those cases is different because, you have a really passionate director behind them.
right.
But then, you have companies that keep making different,
Yeah.
movies. I'm like, okay, you don't need to keep making the same movie over and over.
No.
It's kind of like in the video game industry where you have, NBA 2K28 is going to come out and there's nothing even changed except the color of the green bar.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally
Yeah.
nothing changed. It's like the same thing with video. It's the same industry, like same type of selling point. It's like, let's keep making a game. And they're going to buy it. It's like Call of Duty. Let's keep making it. And it's like, same thing. So in this case, the originals are great, and same in video games. Like originals are fun.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it. That's all I got to
That
say
could be a whole
about it.
other episode.
Yeah,
About
it
playing
could
video
be
games.
literally a whole other episode about how video game to film adaptations because they have that. Call of Duty and Battlefield are being made into a movie.
What?
Both by Paramount. Well, no, Battlefield's not confirmed with Paramount yet. Call of Duty is a Paramount, written by Taylor I can't say his last name.
Sheridan?
Taylor
Sheridan.
Sherman.
And then a Battlefield is being produced by Michael B. Jordan, and he might star in it.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Wait, that's actually crazy though.
Yeah.
That's, wow. Battlefield.
Yeah,
Oh,
EA
wow.
is
Yeah.
going to be
Interesting.
obviously producing.
What
but
about Gears of War?
that is a cool one, but
Oh,
I don't. I
God.
think that would be a show.
Oh, 100
Probably.
I would
Yeah,
hope
I
it's
think
a
it's
show.
better a show
It
than
has
a
to be a show.
And A24, most expensive movie ever, Elden Ring, $100 million budget.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
yep,
gonna
yep.
be insane.
Ronnie
I don't
plays
know
that.
how they're gonna approach it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
Me and Josh played it. It was hard. But honestly, guys, if there's any last notes, please tell them. I think we're done.
I'm good. My tummy hurts.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Let me rub it.
oh. You said it
Make
hurt.
him squirm.
Make him squirm. Make him squirm. Make him
On
squirm.
this side of the room.
No, I mean
Okay.
everything was like pretty
let me-
informative. Actually, there's one. Okay, no. All right, that's the end of the podcast. No, I literally have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Miguel.
Let's see. I think it's very important just to continue to
Stay informed.
stay informed and continue to try to use this as a way to cultivate and empower your own voice as a filmmaker. I think I'm just trying to think like what is the simplest goal of all this, right? Of like filmmaking is just to try to tell a story that feels impactful and interesting and but just keeping in mind what is happening in the world, especially in entertainment, is important to know. Obviously, it's bleak. It feels hopeless sometimes, but I think the landscape of the industry is changing as a result of that,
Right.
meaning that there are more people creating things independently. I'm very inspired by Kane Parsons, who's directing Backrooms, who literally made a YouTube short, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And got picked up by 24. So it's like,
Mhm.
using other outlets as a way of just telling stories and not having to wait for a studio to pick something up. Let's just go and make something and
Right.
use that as a way to empower us because you never know who's going to listen.
Exactly.
And Warner Brothers, I feel like they're one of the few studios I see that like can produce big budget films, but also can produce very groundbreaking, intimate films. Like it just one after another, and Sinners, like there are people at the studio because there's one thing to have people at the company, but it's another thing to have people working at the studio who have different goals in mind, right? As opposed to just treating it like a business. So I just feel like hopefully this can leave us with the sense of like, okay, like we have an obligation to just try to empower ourselves and try to empower other people to just make stuff, right?
Right.
Because there's always that new story, Ghostbusters was an original before it became this big thing.
Right.
Back to the Future was an original that ended up becoming like these beloved franchises and IPs that are susceptible to remakes and sequels. They were at one point originals.
Right.
So the fact that now these businesses only care about making the most money, but they're getting it from the wrong place. Like
Exactly.
like, oh, we're making a Scream 7. Well, why do you think people still go to see those movies?
People keep
Because
watching them.
Yeah.
it's because
keep watching
People are fans of the
it's
IPs,
because they're riding on the coattails of the original.
Yeah, exactly.
And Scream was an original. So it's like I feel like they're missing the point on what they think is generating money. It's like, yeah, you can make short-term money, but no one's going to care if you beat the IP to death,
Right.
you
Or
know?
Saw X.
Yeah.
Or I mean like that's yeah, right? But like
Saw.
people are craving new stories and hopefully we're craving stories that can become the next Back to the
Right.
Futures or the next the next Ghostbusters or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even the next Harry Potters, whatever,
Exactly.
right? Like it all starts from believing in somebody who has an original idea, as opposed to, this movie can make us $1 billion. Okay,
Right.
great, but like those $1 billion, is that it? Or can you make a movie that can maybe make half of that?
Right.
But people want to buy merch. People want to buy things related to the movie because, like, Project Hail Mary is going to be that example where people are going to want to buy shirts. They're going to want to buy
yeah,
little things like
100%.
that.
Yeah, already
And
did.
they don't think about
Yeah.
the long-term revenue that can come from that movie. Even if
Exactly.
that movie is only making $600 million, that movie could end up making $1 billion through long-term investments or long-term purchases of people either dressing up or, purchasing things or going to see the movie again or renting it.
Or there's gonna be another book.
Or another book, yeah.
And there's gonna be another movie. Yeah.
That's the thing that I
There's
don't
like
think-
all these things that
It's this desire for wealth, and like Victor said, it's like this desire for greed is like what's I feel like that is what just causes more pain and suffering, I
Just
guess.
want more money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Make good things.
I do kind of there's like one more thing I wanted to mention
Say
That's
about
great.
the director of the Backrooms and everything. I don't know if you heard, but the director of Obsession, I'm sure you guys probably seen his videos, but Curry Barker.
Yes. I've heard
Yeah,
of
so
him.
he's gonna be the new director for the new A24 show, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Cool.
That's
So-
gonna be a show.
I think it's a show. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's a film.
movie.
Sorry, it's a
It's
movie.
in Texas,
It's a movie.
not
It's a movie. Yeah,
California.
yeah. No, yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
No, yeah. So, and this guy's literally our age, around our age. So, going back to like letting people, just make films, and then for those like this guy, him and his friend, I forgot his friend's name, but they literally just make content on Instagram, TikToks, and everything, and then he eventually just made a feature film, Obsession. And then now A24 is all like, oh, you should direct a new movie.
Yeah.
But with this very high IP. You know,
Yeah.
they're talking about Scream.
Yeah.
And now we're bringing back the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it went for sale, and our
That's
company
right, yeah.
actually was trying to get it too.
No way.
They should've
we were
gotten
trying,
it,
we were
dude.
trying to buy the IP.
Why did you guys get it?
It didn't happen.
Someone had a higher bid.
Someone had a higher bid. A24.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
We don't have A24 money.
No, yeah.
But yeah, that's great. I've been excited. I'm excited. A lot of they're
Yeah.
trusting young filmmakers.
Yeah.
And that's great because there's a story. What do you call it? A Portrait of God.
Yeah.
That's with Dylan Clark, and that's going to be with Sam Raimi and Jordan Peele. That's going to be directed by Universal, right? I can't remember.
I think
forget.
you said Universal.
yeah,
Yeah.
Universal. But it's he's also rebooting the Blair Witch Project. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like he's young filmmakers are getting out there. So keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yep,
Let's
yep,
do it, guys.
I heard that.
Let's do it. Let's do it ourselves too.
Yep.
Yep, I think
Sounds
Let's
good.
do it. Let's make one. Let's make a feature next year.
We're gonna make the craft,
Yeah.
keep the craft alive.
But yeah, I hope everyone has a great day. This is great. I really hope it was informative to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for the continued support on the channel. And if you have something you want us to talk about, just leave a comment and we'll try to get to it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you guys have a
Thank
great
you.
one and have a great day.